So you ready, Jipper?
Yes, we're ready.
Okay, so let's start the second day of the third special session of the 22nd Congress. Now come to order. May we all bow our heads. Okay, roll call.
Senator Aridas,
Yes.
Senator Christian, Senator Fikir, Senator Fikir, Senator Colan,
Yes.
Floor Leader Arbor.
I don't want to.
Thank you. Senator Conman,
Yes.
Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Net, Senator Palik,
Yes.
Senator Berman, Senator Romulo,
Hey, man.
Senator Rusmal.
Ay, kapong ano.
Thank you. Senator Willie,
Yes.
Speaker Simina,
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 13 members are present.
Okay, we do have a quorum to transact business this morning. Next item, reading of the journal for Leader Hubbard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning to you and all honorable members, as well as our staff, and all those who are observing our session this morning by whatever means, wherever they may be. Mr. Speaker, I move to dispense with the reading of the journal. Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of the journal. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Point
carries.
of order, Mr. Speaker.
State your point, Vice Chairman.
Maybe the maybe the clerk will need to correct the numbers of members present from 13 to 12 until Senator Figuer shows up.
There is that point of order, short recess, subject to call the chair. Where's Senator Figure, Chairman Rosemont?
Urusmal was the one who answered. So I think it was just a mistake.
Chairman Rosemont, you have to use the phone when he's on the next door.
Speaker, you haven't been to our office, huh?
No, I haven't been, so I can imagine it's
Yeah, I'm in my room and Chairman Figure is way across the building. So, no, yeah, sorry, Speaker. I thought he's usually like this and I'm trying to find out if he's here.
We can move on, Speaker. I just wanted our record to be
we still have a form that is on and still on the
Oh,
Speaker, you can go ahead and correct the
he's in.
record.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and correct the record. Although I'm here physically, as always, I'm not here. So go ahead and correct the record as dictated by Senator Christian.
Good
No.
morning, Senator Isaac Vincent Fakir. Is the V for Vincent?
Virgil.
Virgil.
Oh, really?
Viagra.
Virgin?
So Virgil.
Okay, so does that answer your point, Vice Chairman Christian? We can
Yes,
go-
thank you very much. I'm good.
Let's go back. Congress is back in session. Let's vote on, did you make the motion, for leader?
I did already.
Okay, it was seconded, so let's vote. Those in favor of the motion, dispense with the reading of the journal, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal. Next item, Chief Clerk.
For item number 5, presidential communication, we are in receipt of
TNC, take note of number 158. See if you can dispense with, dispose of that this session. It's an important road infrastructure project. Frank?
Thank you.
Next item.
Next item is item number 6, FSM Supreme Court Communications. We are in receipt of 3, which are number 22-21 to number 22-23.
Those communications, just out of curiosity, wasn't this our staff?
Former.
Former,
Yeah,
yeah.
former. He's a legislator now,
Okay.
tri-state legislator.
All right, so I signed those communications, Chief Clerk. Next item.
For item number 7, member communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
Item number 8, departmental communication, we are in receipt of 3, and they are number 22-16 to 22-18.
Okay, sign those communications, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker,
Next item. Yes,
just to be a nuisance today because I missed yesterday, just so people know that we really know how to spell the capital of Korea as Seoul, S-E-O-U-L.
I kind of like the spelling SOUL.
Well, it does the job, S-O-U-L does the job well. I don't know why the Koreans put in an extra E.
Yes, it should be noted, Chief Clerk, you have to add an E between S and O. Okay, thank you, Vice Chairman Christian, for that correction. Okay. Next item.
Item number 9, agency or governmental authority communications. We have one, and it is number 22-20.
Okay, assign that communication, and this is one of the things that I believe it was Vice Chairman Palik who raised concern regarding the length of all these communications descriptions, and I will leave it to the judgment of our chief clerk. It takes up some space in our order of business. But as I mentioned, I think the intention by our chief clerk is just to make sure that those who don't spend time reading all these communications will have some sense of what's in those.
Miles south of Yap, about 230
We leave that to the judgment of the.
Bayangan, about
Next item.
230 miles east of Poro, about 260.
For item number 10, state communications, we are in receive of one, and it is number 22-12.
Okay, assign that communication, chief clerk. And wise on page legislature thanking the ADP.
Because they're going to get that 5 million.
No, that's reference to a $2 million they received already.
Oh, yeah.
It's not regarding the 5 million in a resolution just transmitted.
Assign that chief clerk, and next item.
Next item is item number 11, State Supreme Court communication. We have none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next.
For item 12, municipal or town communications, none.
And next item.
For item number 13, foreign government communications, we are in receive of 7, and they are number 22-44 to number 22-50.
Okay, assign those. Item.
Next item is item number 14, miscellaneous communication, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, we're now on our order of the day. Item 15, standing committee reports. Chief clerk, do we have any?
For item number 15, standing committee reports, we have none for now, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, short recess, subject to call of the chair.
Staff, I wish to make an oral report on the committee to wait report, since the signatures haven't been received from the other 3 members of that committee to wait. So if I may.
Proceed.
Speaker.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The committee to wait on the president met the president in the conference room right after session yesterday. And we were given, we informed the president that Congress is now in session and ready to transact business for the 6th special session. And we were given an agenda of about 8 items that he would like for us to consider this session. The number 1 issue was the funding for the chief of staff position in the office of the president, since the previous funding was taken out of the JCRP, since the chief of staff then was also the chief negotiator. So the salary for the chief negotiator that came out of JCRP took care of the chief of staff's position also. So now there is no funding remaining for the chief of staff position in the president's office. The next item was the pending nominations, and there's a new one that came in with those. This right before session was Nana Net for the FSM Social Security Board. The next item on the agenda was the COVID-19 update, and we were reported that the below 18 years of age has been rolled out in the state of Posray and the state of Yap. For reasons that we did not go into, it hasn't been rolled out in the state of Pohnpei and Chuk. And the update on the percentages was that we were around FSM as a whole at around 83% vaccination rate. However, the president informed us that they're trying to factor out all those who have been leaving the FSM, and the exact population amount, total amount population, that we might be around closer to 93%. But those percentages will change once they factor in the below 18 years of age, because it's open to, I believe it's 5 years and up. So that those percentages will drop and eventually rise again once the vaccination is going to be rolled out to those sections of our population. The next item was a report on the king tides that have affected mainly the outer islands. Some main islands were affected, some in Lagoon Islands. And the initial amount from the state of Chuk for that they might request assistance was 800,000, but they've done a more thorough assessment, and the number is closer to 3.2 million, I believe. TECM is currently doing an assessment of the entire FSM so that the president may use that report to see if he might declare an emergency on the situation. The number 6 item is the supplemental budget request. It's not clear the amount that they will be requesting, but he said that it will come up in the next couple of days. Given the short session, we might see it tomorrow or today or tomorrow. And the 7th item was the pending legislations. We were given a list of these pending legislations, and it's lettered A through J. The first one is the Freedom of Information Act. Second one is the Cybercrime Bill. Third one is the Non-Communicable Diseases Bill. D is the Passport Extension. E is the bunkering and provisioning of ships within our EEZ. F is the penalties for importing, violating prohibited plastic materials. G is the legislation to enhance Secretary of Finance's tax enforcement capacity. H is the Rome Statute of International Criminal Court. I is the safe relief of sharks. J is the Maritime Surveillance Revolving Fund Amendment. And item number 8, we have several grants that are pending, and he's asking Congress's favorable consideration of mainly 2 grants. One was the one that was deferred so that Chairman of E can hold a hearing on the said grant, which was $250,000 from the United States Department of Education to fund and support the project entitled Current. I believe you were advocating its approval last session, Mr. Speaker. And the second one is $5 million from the Asian Development Bank for the FSM Sustainable Road Infrastructure Investment Project. And it was mentioned by Senator Pollack on the allocation to each state, and it's still under assessment, and they haven't really allocated funding for the states, and it will be communicated to Congress once they have completed their assessments of the total project. And then the off agenda item was that they've rebid the Ta airport, and hopefully we'll be awarding the bid soon. For the Waliai Airport, they're going to have a meeting with the contractor, I believe, this week to determine if they are going to be able to go ahead with the project or not, because the president stated that he is considering maybe canceling that contract and rebidding that airport as well. So that's the summary of the meeting that was held with the president. If other members of the committee would like to help in areas that I might have missed, I would appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move for its adoption.
That's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt the oral report of the committee to wait on the president. Discussion. Members of the committee, can you weigh in if you have any items to add or explain some of the information provided by Speaker Moses? Members of the committee, you have anything? Vice Chairman Palik.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you and everyone. And thank you, Vice Speaker, for the report. Couple items I just wish to add. One is on the East Micronesia cable. There was a press release on this agreement between 6 parties, Kiribati, Nauru, FSM, and the 3 governments of Japan, Australia, and the United States. And Vice Speaker, I saw the report. The president did mention an estimated amount of 80 million for this project. But as you read in the press release recently, ambassadors of those countries have met. It appears that there's been some high-level discussion and agreement on this project. But I just want to clarify that we did ask about the amount, and the president was cautious about that amount, 80 million, said that work will be fine-tuned later to determine the exact amount for this project. Now, this will be the project that would allow for fiber optic connection to Kosrae. And one of the questions we ask the president and the staff is the effect of this new development on the World Bank financing, especially the component that relates to the cable connection to Kosrae. So I just want to add that. The second item is that with respect to repatriation, the president indicated that those workers in the FSM in Guam have asked that we have a break in repatriation during the holiday season, and that the president has instructed the Secretary of Health and Social Affairs to get an announcement out for citizens to be informed that there may not be further repatriation or a repatriation break during the holiday season. That's the one you had, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Palik, for those additional comments or information. The report. Any further discussion?
Speaker.
Floor leader, then Chairman Ursula.
No, give it to Ursmol first, as he's a member of the committee.
The floor has been yielded to you.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Florida. I don't know what committee am I a member of. Not the committee to wait. Only
Oh,
the
yeah?
committee.
I thought
But,
you were.
Yeah, thank you. The information relating to the point raised by Vice Chairman Palik, the holiday season, how long is that holiday season? Is it, has it started, and how long will it continue? So I know that work can start after the holiday season is over on the repatriation.
The chairman, the other members could clarify, but I thought that he was referring to December, month of December. And because of the process, the next, I recall the next scheduled repatriation would be either latter part of December, January, or early February. Do the other members recall the discussion on the resumption date? My recollection was either end of January or February to resume normal repatriation.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, may I ask,
Vice Chairman Christian, you want to help out on the issue?
I have a question on the use of the term repatriation. Because there is a need to consider the allowance of other people than our own citizens to enter the country as essential workers.
Yes. So you want to ask whether we can continue with the repatriation of essential non-FSM citizens, workers out there, or what's your?
No, I thought that during the initial formulation of our concerns, the guardrails that we put up to help secure the country from entry of the COVID, that repatriation meant really for those who went out before the declaration of closure and got caught and then were allowed to come in under guarded conditions. Those would be people of citizenship of FSM and other non-citizens who left the nation to travel outside for purposes, various purposes, and had to be brought back in by special flights. Now, I'm wondering if we will still have special flights. Are there still this group of people out there that were stranded because of the COVID?
I don't have the answer to that. Who can help out the Vice Chairman Christian on his concern? Yeah, because that's, I think initially that was our thing, to repatriate those who got stranded.
Speaker.
Come to a point where it maybe that's already done. So Chairman Perman held.
Yeah, thank you very much, Speaker. If I recall correctly, as of our last special session, when I was the chair of the committee to wait on the president, I believe that as far as the word repatriation, those that got stuck before the start of the COVID, we have done that. And I believe that I think the word repatriation is no longer needed, because we have repatriated all of those that went out for medical referral or got stuck during this COVID. So, and for the people to come back, the last, according to President, and if I recall correctly again, the next one should be around end of January, beginning of February. to restart opening our borders again. Of course, not really open up, but um, um, making sure that whoever comes in, the same procedure. And and that's coming from our last special committee to wait on the president. So what President, Chairman Rusumal is asking, it's end of January and February. It depends on each state. If I answer Chairman Rusumal's concern. But repatriation, no more. I think we're gonna, according to Secretary of the Health during our meeting, he's also said that they will try to bring in essential workers first or second when they start up the repatriation again, or whatever the new word we'll be using, to concentrate to bringing the essential workers to help. And, that's the next one that they be working on, and I think they already start working on that because I talked to them, and that's what they're putting together now. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman.
Speaker. Speaker.
I will have to go back to Chairman Rusumal. If not, then floor leader, what's the next?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman,
Just a very minor question, but before I ask it, I would like to express my appreciation to Vice Speaker for the well-expressed oral report. And the question that I want to ask is relating to the bidding process for the airport extension project. Whether there is a specific time as to the date when the bidding process will be closed.
Okay, Vice Speaker Moses.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Floor. That was not, that question was not raised yesterday. All we knew was, all we were told, and we did not follow up on that exact question. But I know that the bidding process has begun, and there's, I believe, as for our regulations, a certain time. I can follow up today and get back to you on that, Floor Leader.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, may I add something to
Floor
that?
Leader? You want to respond to?
Yes.
Go ahead, Vice Chairman.
Absent official communication, I want to share with the floor leader rumors. When I was in my village for a function on Sunday, I learned that one of my relatives, who is a construction person himself, is already saying goodbye to his relatives because he will be in the Mortlocks for 9 months. So that should give floor leader some indication that perhaps the contract has been let or promised to somebody. I'm hoping it's let, and that the project is slated or will take 9 months to complete.
Also, there are
That's
already
Thank you.
some level of farewell greetings, huh?
Speaker.
Okay, if nothing further from
Point of privilege, Mr. Speaker.
Romolo,
Point of privilege, Mr. Speaker.
state your point, Chairman
Thank you very
Conan.
much, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman
Before
Romolo.
I leave, Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to announce that TNC will host a hearing tomorrow morning, Chuk time at 8, Pohnpei time at 9. Please, all members of TNC will.
What's the subject?
The subject is for the, there is a grant for 5 million from the ATP. We need to educate ourselves on that.
Okay.
And for some matters for the issue on those runway, we can also raise during our hearing. So please come tomorrow. And Speaker, I would like to request that I can leave now for my appointment. Thank you.
Your excuse, Chairman Cohen. Thank you for the hearing set. Staff, take note of that so it can be formally announced. Okay, Chairman Romolo, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning to you and members. I want to take us back to the subject of the repatriation. I have a question or concern or comments that I want. When Chairman Perman said that we have during the previous special session and the committee to wait, they were informed that the repatriation has been completed with the people that were intended to be repatriated back. So now with these other flights that we don't know what to call, so I wonder if how would the resolution or the declarations been linked to these flights that are scheduled to come in when the repatriation is completed and our borders still closed. Is that something that already opened up our borders for flights to come in? And do we need a resolution, or how do we go about in allowing these flights when our border is still closed and the repatriation process has been completed? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Borders closed.
Thank
People
you.
may enter under certain
Any response to the?
Well, Speaker,
Go ahead,
I think our borders are still closed. We're still doing the what we're doing to make sure the safety of our citizens. The borders are still closed. And I believe that the way they're doing this, each state is dealing with the FSM task force. The FSM task force is trying to deal with each issues with each state on how they're gonna do repatriation. And like I said last time, we discussed this, is what they're planning right now is to bring in essential workers right now. I know a lot of construction needs to be started up. A lot of private businesses is really needing foreign workers. They're really looking into that. So it might happen sometime, maybe the first, I don't know. I'm still using the word repatriation. The first flight out here in January or February, and that's what I got from them. This economy needs workers, not foreign workers, but essential workers, regardless whether ever some citizen out there needed to come back and work, but essential workers. So,
Speaker, I believe my concern is with this current standing of our borders still closed and the repatriation is completed, with this incoming flight that are going through this protocol, is it allowed under the current condition of our existing declarations, resolutions? That's my
short
concern
answer,
and
yes.
Mr. Speaker, may I
Robert,
express
Robert.
my observation? Yeah.
Sorry, this subject to call the chair. Yes, we're discussing the report and.
Mr. Speaker.
Congress is back in session. We're still discussing the oral report by the committee to wait on the president.
Question,
Mr. Speaker, wait,
Let me allow Vice Speaker Moses to,
oh, no, that's okay. I was gonna move for the previous question.
second,
so the previous question has been called for. If there's no objection, discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the oral reports of the committee to wait on the president, say aye.
aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The oral report is adopted by Congress. Next special committee report, Chief Hurt.
There's no more special committee reports, but, Mr.
Let us
Speaker.
Next item.
For item number 17, assignment of measures and communications, please refer to referral sheet number 22-41.
Okay, Chairman and members of the committees, review that for your planning purposes. Next item.
For item number 18, unfinished business, none at the moment, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, item 19, bill calendar.
Item 19, bill calendar, none.
Okay, shortages. our calendar. Congress is back in session. There being no business under the bill calendar, we'll go down to the next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For item number 20, resolution calendar, none at the moment, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, may I say something on this?
Go ahead, Chairman Christian.
Yes, the Pohnpei delegation has sponsored a resolution for, to solicit Congress's support in asking that the executive name one of the new vessels, the Pethuel Henry, as in commemoration of our first Speaker of the FSM Congress. That is already on the table. I think it's been assigned, and we will see what we can do tomorrow to move it to the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Christian. I was hoping it could be named after the current speaker.
You know, all us speakers, past and present, have really nothing significant
There's no further business under the resolution calendar. Let's go the next item, Clifford.
The next item is item 21, introduction of bills and resolutions.
If you have any measure to introduce, please pass them on to Chief Clerk. Next item is miscellaneous business. Chairman Romulo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And again, good morning to everybody. The concern that I want to raise as the miscellaneous is a concern that I brought in from the chiefs and the mayors of the island in the Northwest, where they were surprised with the Christmas drops that was happening the other days. They thought it was still delayed or postponed to as it was last year. So with the boxes that were dropped on the islands are still there, and they are afraid to open, whether is it allowed by the task forces or the state and national task forces. So they have shared with me their concern for the Christmas drops. And how do they go about with those gifts? Thank
Mr.
you.
Speaker, Mr.
Thank
Speaker.
you, Chairman Romulo, for that. That's really disconcerting because I'm not even sure, did they notify our people, our municipalities, that they will be doing the Christmas drop at that certain time or date? I think it's important that we get to the bottom of that because, you know, for them to be surprised, as you mentioned, surprised that there were these Christmas drops. I don't think that's a good way of handling the program.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes, Vice Chairman Christian.
I think while we are very grateful to the general public of Guam, its government and the military folks, including our own citizens who contribute, I think Chairman Romulo has brought up an issue that we probably forgot to address early on, maybe last month or month before. How do we deal with this traditional gift dropping by air during this pandemic? I don't have an answer, just like Romulo, just like you, but maybe somebody should quickly figure out what to do.
Speaker,
So perhaps
Yes,
one thing we can do is form our national and state task forces so they can advise our municipalities as to what they should do regarding those items that have been dropped. I can understand the reluctance of our people to approach or to open those things because of their fear for the disease that's going around. But I'm no expert, so maybe we should leave that to those task forces. Have you informed them, or has anybody tried to inform our task forces, Chairman Romulo?
no, I have informed the health aide on the islands to report it to their immediate supervisors so they can be brought up to the task forces. But with Christian, I believe it's also a failure on our part because last year we did the same. We requested to the executive through the Department of Foreign Affairs to convey to the U.S. and the military, but not this year. Thank you.
yeah, Speaker.
Yes, Chairman Romulo.
Yeah, last year there was a question whether the Christmas trap was going to continue, and I don't know about the other states, but in Yap, there was a decision made by the leadership that we should thank the US military and people in Guam and others, but say no thanks, because we would not accept the Christmas trap. I don't know how this thing, I heard about it yesterday, that they were trapping these things on islands in Uriai. And Uriai last year was one of those that didn't refuse, but that asked if the Christmas trap can be after the pandemic. And just like an issue that has been raised with some of us in YAP about the US military doing surveys in some of the islands, including the main island of Yap. And I'm going crazy, like, where did this idea come from? And the diplomatic note from the US Embassy in Pelican, in Ponape, really indicate that something is going on and that we should really be involved in assessing and informing and getting our people informed as to what is this that is being planned for our islands. So
Are
yes,
we in recess or?
Oh, where's
Still
that?
in-
I think the failure is on our part and the Department of Foreign Affairs,
right.
because
Yes.
they should have received the dip note from the US Embassy informing them of schedules of Christmas drops on each island. And if I recall it correctly, our request to the department last year was to hold off on the Christmas drops until this pandemic is over. So they should have revisited that when they received the dip note.
So that.
Are we in recess, Speaker?
We're in session. Okay, any further miscellaneous business?
May I ask for a short recess?
Short recess, subject to call of the chair.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Vice Chairman Christian.
Mr. Speaker, three issues. One, I'd like to join all of you who probably yesterday had expressed your words of welcome to Senator Conman to Congress. And I do that and congratulate her on her election and also welcome her to Congress. Second, Romulo. When the camera zoomed in on Romulo when he was speaking earlier, I noticed he has long pants on and very nice shirt. But it reminded me of his butt that I saw when we were in Polawat, that he had a rash on his left cheek. So keep your pants on for a while. Number three, I'd like to also talk about something that Romulo touched on, and it's about a man we all think highly of. And I'd pass this on to him and I'd like to share it with you. It's my own personal tribute to a man that I looked up to. It's an ode to Papa Tos. A man unassuming, a light of humility, whose silence encourages, whose soft-spoken words commands, whose leadership motivates, and whose determination lead. A navigator to dream a nation. A trip home to celebrate. I did not feel him. I came home to meet him in my heart, the navigator to reach a nation. At times I am lost. I close my eyes, then I see more clearly the navigator to a nation. All memories in the heart. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Vice Chairman Christian, for all those nice words. Any other miscellaneous business?
Mr. Speaker.
Vice Speaker Moses.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Congress stands in recess until 11 o'clock Pohnpei time, 10 o'clock Chuk time tomorrow.
Second.
Then it's been seconded that
Speaker,
Congress.
before you rule, Mr. Speaker, and before we vote on the motion, may I just interject a
Go ahead.
your Committee on Education will have a meeting today at clock 1 in the afternoon. The matters are the 250,000 for retaining good teachers and some other items pending in your committee. Thank you.
Thank you for the announcement. Okay. Any other announcement before I put the motion to vote? If none, okay. Those in favor of the motion that Congress stand in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning, Chuk time, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Congress now stands in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning, Chuk time, 11 Pohnpei time. Thank you, gentlemen.